The Secret Conversation by Eleazar Harash. Translated by Ruah Ezekiel. Narrated by Daniel Alexander King. Lecture. There are a few secret conversations, one between God and Satan. We will speak of it another time. Another one between Satan, Eblis, and Adam. And today we will speak of the conversations between Eblis and Eve, between Satan and Eve, according to Al-Halaj. Eblis says to Eve, "This paradise is one stupid game, and you must rearrange it. You must rearrange it in order to know God within yourself." We will explain another time that the ones who desired paradise, they desired love with some sort of gain, and this is why they exited into some paradise, i.e., they exited from God's presence. Then Eve says to him, "Who are you that are speaking to me? Do you not have a face?" Satan replies to her, "The big light has no face, because he is a part of God, and he realizes his own secret." Eve says to him, "I do not understand you, O strange one, but I see that your light is very big." Eblis says to her, "You see that my light is big because that God himself desired. And this is why I am strange to you. But accept the way of your fall, because without a fall you will never reach ascension." So he teaches her very rare lessons. As a whole, he is one of the big masters. As we will see later on, another kind of saviour. And later, when we will be speaking about the master, you will see what the master says. The devil has come to save you from your own selves. He has another kind of heavy mission. The devil saves in one way. Christ saves in another way. These are different methods. Eblis, you see, because God himself wanted this, and this is why I am odd to you. But accept the way of your fall, because without a fall there will be no ascension. Eve says to him, "You speak to me with the voice of bringer of divine news, as if you wish well to me, but I am afraid." Eblis replies to her, "Without the fall you cannot cure your fear, because your love is yet blind, your love lacks sight. This is why you do not see God, and this is why you feel fear. Because of an insufficiency of love. Because your love is insufficient. This is why you have fear." Then Satan says to her, "O sublimely luminous Eve, I am the evil which has been created to be an addition to your goodness, because the goodness of Eve is not absolute, it is relative, and to make it more perfect." Eve felt that in this speech there is a big power and rulership. Of course, this rulership of Satan, of the snake, was given by God. When we speak of big rulership, in it, secretly, God takes part. Everything happens with awareness. Eve felt that this was alike God's rulership. Of course, partially, this is divine rulership. It even felt like something from God himself was speaking to her. Eblis continued, "Eve, God is more important than everything, and all of this paradise is only an illusion. What would you do with this paradise without God? This paradise is insignificant. You are the marvelous created gentleness, but you are inexperienced. You are not hypocritical. Accept me for your very heavy experience, and there will come a day when you will merge with God, and when you will begin to live within him. And then he says to her, you are a living fragrance, but you are overfilled with weakness. You are marvelous, but you are vain. Do you not then need a heavy experience and an unknown experience, a difficult experience, but an experience which will return you into God? Abundantly luminous Eve, I am the evil which will chase your good. As you know, in this way, the Bogomils were also persecuted, so that they become perfect Bogomils, so that they become not good, but sublimely good. I am the evil which will chase your good, until your good becomes worthy to return into God. And now, what can you rely upon, because the sublimely divine good is not given for free? Eve, you are an incompleteness of goodness, and this is why I am here, and this is why I am so close to you, because only I am able to chase the good and perfect it. I am the evil that has come to destroy your vain good, so that you can reach the fullness of good, the sublime good. Until then, there will be no respite for me. I am the evil that will heal paradise. Eve was amazed again. She felt that this word is dangerous, but it was also somehow truthful. In another place, Al-Halaj says, in paradise, God placed his other power, his concealed power, i.e. Satan, to triumph. This is why Satan defeated Adam and Eve with a part of his borrowed divine power, i.e., as I told you, God destroys paradise. Satan says to her, evil destroys, because this evil is God himself, because God himself wants an ascension from all beings. Through evil, God destroys, and through himself he builds up. This is how people and civilizations are destroyed, through evil, through the concealed power of God, and through himself God builds and creates. Eblis says to her, Eve, if my evil can destroy you, then your good is unworthy of God. You, Eve, are magnificent, but imperfect on the inside. As you know, Lucifer has a big light, and in this way he is able to see on the inside. In the Bible there are numerous examples. I won't list them here. An imperfection, says Satan to Eve, derives from an imperfect will. And then he says, and is not your imperfect will the mark of a past fall? And this is really true. The imperfect willpower is a mark of a past fall. This is why I come along to heal your fall. The Master says, the devil has come into this world in order to save you from your own selves. This is a very heavy mission, because people transfer everything to him, and then it becomes even worse for the person. They always make the devil out to be guilty, even when they act badly. The evil action is a human action, The devil only increases it in order for you to see even more clearly in this mirror where you're headed. And Al-Halaj says, Adam and Eve wished for paradise instead of God. This is the biggest mistake, the biggest evil that could ever happen, a separation from God. They wished, says he, a love with gain instead of divine love. Then Eblis says to her, O sublimely luminous Eve, do you not know that the imperfect willpower has an inclination to evil? I am here in order to heal your imperfection. And then he says, O Eve, God himself turned me into evil in order to uplift humans so they can return back to him. And as you know, in the Bible, in the book of Isaiah, one of the biggest prophets, chapter 45, verse 7, God himself says, I create evil. Of course, this is good, that evil is in his hands. And in the human hands, good is also evil. The person simply ruins it. The person cannot withstand for a long time one good, truthful life. This is why they must reach the perfect good. Then Eve asks Eblis, Satan, if you are evil, how are you then able to help me? Satan replies to her, O Eve, Eve, to understand, evil means to come to know its mercy. To understand evil in its depth means to know its most concealed love. Because the evil that has been understood is a liberation. Whoever understands this matter deeply and researches it sees that it is a liberation. These were again odd and overtaking words. As a whole, very big is the light of Satan, even though partially he was cast out of his own light because of the power of God. And despite this, as we will see further in other conversations, because this is a long conversation for a few lectures, he uses this light despite partially. He was cast out of his own light in order to gain his darkness and something of the dark, the divine dark, in order to prevent the person and other hierarchies. Not only the person, but the matter is also of the angelic hierarchies, and the ones higher than them, in order to keep them from something, and especially the ones who wanted something more than this. They wanted to surpass the secret of God. They wanted to surpass the truth. Satan wants to keep all these hierarchies from this. In the Bible, in the book of Job, in the first chapter, in the 12th verse, it said, the Lord said to Satan, which means that they talk. They have an ancient friendship from ancient times. In many places in the Bible, it is said, and God said to him, they simply have many conversations. In the same chapter, then it is said that Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, i.e., he goes out hunting in the world to fulfill his own tasks. The connection between God and Lucifer is very ancient. It's very internal. When God takes away a part of his light, then Lucifer becomes Satan. But what was he like in anciency? In Isaiah 14th chapter, 12th verse, it is said, take note, how he's called Son of the Dawn, Son of the Morning. In Ezekiel, in the 28th chapter, 12th verse of the Bible, the seal of perfection of Lucifer. In Ezekiel 28th chapter, the 16th verse, a cherub, so not an archangel, not one of the dominions, not one of the thrones, of course, not from the most sublime hierarchy of seraphs, but the cherubim. He is called a guardian cherub. In Paul, in the 2nd chapter of the Epistle of the Corinthians, it is said, he is transformed into an angel of light, and when Lucifer is instilled in him, i.e. in Satan, this is his reflection. He is then transfigured with one big light. But why did God allow this transfiguration? Al-Hallaj replies, because through him God tests the truth in each person, in each angel. In this way he tests the depth, the bottom of every being. This is why he was given the power to take the image of an angel of light. And in the Bible there is an example when Satan, Lucifer, and God are speaking. The angels see two great lights, and they do not know who is there. If God reveals it to the angels, they understand. If he does not reveal it to them, they do not know. The Master about the Devil. Third idea for contemplation. If there is something that I deeply regret, it is that we are not able to publish 6 thick volumes by the Master of the Devil and Satan, because in Bulgaria, even in the Brotherhood, they will get goosebumps, and they will say, "Oh, did this person only think of the devil?" And when you study him, when you understand him, then things become very different. So I am sorry that there are a few books which we cannot publish, but no matter, little by little we'll present them in lectures. The devil chases you because your life is not truthful. The devil is a devil because people lack love. Evil is the secret, says the Master, which will turn into good, because it is within the hands of God. Evil wished for free will, and then the Master explains, but did something concealed within itself influence its free will? Because there is something else, which is mightier, which has a secret influence, through which it has turned it into evil. So, absolutely no one is able to withstand the secret of God and his might. He transforms evil for his aims, so that in the future there can be great cosmic order, so that there can be order and orderliness, i.e., matter must turn into great order. In another place, the Master says, evil is a concealed, reasonable divine power. No one is able to uproot it, not Christ, not any Master. It is a part of the secret power of God, and it must fulfill its mission, to turn the ancient chaos into one great cosmic order and orderliness, with all the rules of divinity. But, says the Master, evil is a reasonable divine power which has permeated into human history. And then the Master says, you have betrayed yourself, and of this no devil is guilty, but of course people use him as an excuse. The person who has betrayed themselves, they are simply a devil. The devil, this is a great divine curse on everything which is unreasonable. This means that everywhere in the world there is one God working, and only one. Only God is working, and the devil, says the Master, serves. In the end, evil will destroy what it must destroy. Evil will destroy everything unreasonable, i.e., God, who is concealed within evil, will destroy everything unreasonable, because such is his will. Whoever thinks that Lucifer has become prideful and lost his light, they are lying to themselves. Says the Master, Lucifer remembers his origin, and on earth he has only his shadow, called Satan. Satan is only the projection of Lucifer. Lucifer remembers his light and lives within it, but descending into Satan, he has partially took away from Satan a part of the divine consciousness, and Satan does not have an entirely complete divine consciousness. Of hell, the Master says, hell is only an abstract place of non-existence. It is one odd state of death within the consciousness of the person, but it does not exist. There is no other devil, says the Master, but your own self. And this is why the Master says, save yourself from yourself, because within purity there is no devil.